Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Bay Area Focus. I'm your host, Michelle Griego. We have an exciting and inspiring show for you today. And to start things off, we have a documentary born out of the East Bay, a story that Billie Joe of Green Day requested be told because of its importance. It's called Turn It Around, the story of East Bay punk. And we are so glad to have director Corbett Redford at our table today to discuss this lovely project. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, this is your feature film debut. Yeah. This is a big deal.
It is. It really is. 2.5 hours long, and the guys in Green Day gave me their trust and full reign. I'm so grateful for the opportunity.
How did you come to this project?
Well, Billie Joe gave me a ring and said, "Hey, we have this idea. Would you know where some footage is?" I found some footage, and he said, "Would you know anybody that could direct this?" And I said, "I could." And he goes, "I think you're right." Let me talk to the band, and the next day we had a meeting, and 3.5 years later, here we are. Premiered last night.
And Billie Joe just doesn't go up to anyone and ask them to direct. So what was the connection with Green Day?
Well, I was a freshman when they were seniors at Pinole Valley High School, and they were always supportive of my art, playing music over the years, and so that's how I knew them.
All right. Well, lucky for us, we have some video of the documentary.
Fantastic.
Let's take
a look. To those who live it, punk rock is something more. It is a conversation with society.
San Francisco, I think at one point it's probably the strongest scene in America.
All of a sudden, like, all these bands just start popping up.
The bands that we were excited about were our East Bay bands.
It had an important place in the pantheon of punk. It was about playing honest music.
Like, it wasn't hard like punk rock was supposed to be.
It wasn't always about the band that was playing on stage. It was equally about what was happening in the audience.
A punk rock club opened up in my neighborhood. I jumped on a bus the next day and I headed back home.
People remember it as being a starting point to the East Bay scene.
Gilman Street, you had a co-op. You didn't have any of that in L.A. Nobody trusted anybody.
It was a great hub for all the bands to go to.
This was what was going to be it.
When we're talking about the punk scene, there's a lot of history here in the Bay Area.
Just like with so many music scenes, absolutely. We're lucky to be from here. Punk was born in the Bay Area, in San Francisco. So the East Bay was always kind of its little sibling. It made the jump over the Bay and eventually culminated in the arrival of the 924 Gilman Street Collective, an all-volunteer run space in Berkeley that's still there 30 years later.
And what was significant about Gilman?
Well, Gilman was kind of a departure from what was usually punk, or what was known to be punk. The aggression, things like that. It was more fun. It was inclusive. It was about building together, making a safe space for community.
You know, there are some pretty awesome punk and rock musicians and bands featured in this film. Can you talk about the experience working with some of them?
Oh, it was fantastic. A lot of folks, like Michael Franti, for instance, one of the world music musicians, very popular. He got his start at Gilman. Miranda July, Primus. But then again, bands like Green Day and Rancid and AFI, these meeting all these people. It was 185 interviews, 500 hours of interview footage.
Wow.
It was the ride of my life. Our narrators, Iggy Pop. I'll never forget this experience.
Yeah, no kidding. It took a long time then to make this film.
It did. Pouring through the interview footage and 35,000 photos, and just it's a love letter. It's a sacred history. We wanted to do it right, so we certainly were able to take the time, thanks to Green Day.
You know, aside from your love of punk music, because obviously you have a love for it, and your connection with Green Day, why did you want to tell this story?
I think because the 924 Gilman Street project had such an effect on me as a person. It helped me become a better citizen of the world. Gilman's still standing 30 years later. Helpgilman.org. It's certainly the rules. No racism, no sexism, no homophobia, no transphobia, no violence, no alcohol, no drugs. And if you can abide by that, you can come in and have fun. It doesn't matter how you dress or what you sound like.
And this film is for people that maybe are not huge fans of the genre, right?
Well, for people who are fans of the genre, they're going to find a lot of things they like. But I did try to include human inspiring elements, funny elements that I think people who don't know about the genre will take to.
Who are you hoping to reach with this film?
Everybody. I think everybody could find inspiration in the very human story of wanting to find a place to belong.
So here's the big question. Billy Joe came to you wanting you to do this film. What did he think of it when he saw it?
We are floating right now. He and I and the band, the community that this is about, we've gotten nothing but love. And the response, this love letter that we wrote to this scene that means so much to Green Day and myself, the love is coming back. It's not unrequited.
I think what's really cool about this, and you know, we talked about it when you were saying who you hope to reach out with this film. You said everybody, but I think young people, especially young people who love the genre, maybe they don't know so much about the history here in the Bay Area.
Possibly not, and Gilman's there for them to come be a part of it and continue the legacy. A lot of people will tell you that, you know, punk died 3 years after. I don't believe that to be true. As long as there's the idea of creating, being expressive, resisting, you know, things like that, punk will always be alive, and it's there for the youth.
All right, well, now I'm going to have some of these songs in my head all day today. Thanks so much for coming
Thanks
on
for
the show
having
and
me,
sharing
Michelle.
your film with us. And to learn more about this incredible story and how you can see it, just log on to eastbaypunk.com. Coming up after the break, we are still talking music. Stay with us.